Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if this one's going to be over 10 minutes. I knew as soon as I found out there was going to be an explanation from Andrew, I was going to be seized with a need to unpack it in a video. I'll be upfront. I have used AI generation before, primarily for fun, but for a couple of my own creative projects in the past. Nothing paid, but I have used Night Cafe to make hundreds of images in the past. But I have now completely sworn off using it again because I know better. Don't expect me to make another video like this for a long time. Drama videos are a poisoned chalice. You will get hundreds of thousands of views, and all it costs is your mortal soul. Okay, enough of that.
I recently launched a product that got an immediate and very large backlash.
Don't show people's usernames when, well, actually, if people are dedicated enough, they can just Control F the content of the comment and find it that way. But if you, cover up the usernames, it gives you some deniability.
The art was actually made by an artist I hired, but he did choose to use some AI elements.
They think the art surpasses their own personal threshold for original work, even after seeing the process.
I did ask Scott if he had started using AI on the cards, and what he described to me sounded pretty minimal.
There's an included time-lapse from the artist of one of the cards' designs being made. My immediate cheeky response is to go, there's more than one card. It's a full deck. What about the others, Andrew? What does the process behind the others look like?
But of course, we can only take his word for it.
I will admit that the art style itself is not to my taste. It's very download-free HD wallpaper pack. Being basic is not a crime in and of itself. Sometimes it bends around over time. I would actually buy a Three Wolf Moon t-shirt. A lot of anti-AI art people can get pretty zealous at times. Fear of new technology is nowhere near the top of the list in terms of their concerns, but it's the one thing that pro-AI people keep coming back to for some reason.
Evangelists don't see this as a tool, as a market that may or may not fit into an artist's business. They see it as the future. So failure to participate isn't a business decision, it's just a mistake.
I would probably foreground the very real fear of job insecurity.
We're living in a time where some people might want to avoid some types of art because of anti-AI sentiment.
Yes?
But AI is just going to keep getting better and better.
Okay, that one was a bit too mean, actually. I'll dial it back.
AI is taking jobs away from a lot of people. The labor market changes with every big technological shift.
Other things people brought up are the en masse plagiarism. Personally, I don't think there's a one-yoink-fits-all way to approach it, and I don't really like copyright as it exists, but without any permission on that scale is really bad.
If you believe it's unethical to use a model that trained on copyrighted work without permission, that includes ChatGPT, which most coders now use regularly.
There would probably be hundreds of thousands of artists who would have been perfectly happy to donate their works to feed the digital beast, but the people who made it didn't have the foresight or decency to actually ask anyone. I think the ask for forgiveness, not permission attitude that Silicon Valley people have in general is going to come back to bite them more and more and more as time goes on. Another problem people have with AI is the environmental cost, and OpenAI used Kenyan labourers and paid them $2 an hour to train AI models to be less racist. There's nothing any one person can do in the face of rich tech people who want this as bad as they do. Nobody wants to consider that the COBOL in their smartphone might have been mined by a Congolese child, but that's an issue outside of my purview.
And then there's the fact that the devices themselves are usually made with conflict materials by exploited workers in terrible conditions.
I was writing some of the scripts as I was watching for the first time. I was not expecting him to bring that up. Andrew should have mentioned the environmental cost of AI itself. I can understand why he didn't, because there's no clean way out of it. But to be extremely, mercenary about it, that's going to be the main thing that the comments will bring up if you don't mention it. No crack in a fortress may be accounted small. I think Andrew gets right that this is a whole confluence of different issues over a wide net. Artificial intelligence, the field of science and computing, and AI, the shiny new tech bro toy, are rhetorically very different things that are named the same. And I think that makes the discussion even more difficult.
I'm not anti-AI. I'm also not pro-AI. I just don't think it's going away, so I'm trying to be optimistic about how we move forward.
Automation should have been our gateway to the world of the future where nobody has to work in order to live. Except for robot repairmen, until the robots can be taught to repair themselves without causing a Grey Goose scenario. But now, that technology is here, and instead automation is used as a threat to stop workers from unionising. We're working more hours for less money, and a sandwich and a coffee cost £9 at a shop. The only solution to this is obviously the total collapse of capitalism. You don't need me to tell you that, you're watching a video essay. I'm going to try not to talk about politics because I don't want to accidentally say anything that is then played back to me by a nice police officer who comes round my house.
I'm going to reach out to everybody who currently has an order in, and I'll offer them a refund if they want it. I will not be profiting from these sales. I'm going to give all the money to Sketch, which is an organization here in Toronto that provides arts programming and meals for marginalized young people. For the next batch of cards, the art will be completely redone, and of course, AI will not be involved.
I'm impressed with all that, actually. That's a lot of eaten loss. I was expecting some kind of backpedal somewhere, but this is way more extreme than I would have thought. Although there are several points I disagree with, at the end of the day, I think this is a pretty good response, considering. Andrew's a good egg. Their heart's in the right place. I'm not comfortable saying the same thing for AI itself. My opinion on AI art tools, as someone who has used them, I get more bored the better they get. It turns out the creative process is a process. Popcorn at a cinema, you barely notice each kernel as you fling it past your lips and your bag's completely empty before the film actually starts. But if you buy some popcorn kernels and pop it yourself in a pan full of oil, you get to hear each one pop. You get to put whatever funky seasonings you want on the finished product, and you enjoy it more. Because that corn popped because of you. It's your popcorn you made. Of course, there's always boundaries to that. I'm not going to grow my own corn. I mean, the back garden's AstroTurf. I can't. But I think the satisfaction of creating a thing is something that AI completely strips from the process. That's my final point, I think. AI is disposable. It makes the art it's made with a more disposable art. Besides, AI in music is a whole other can of worms, especially because the music industry is a lot more lawyer happy. Remember Uberduck? The go-to site for AI rips of celebrity voices that people use for memes?
You have failed the challenge!
Of course you don't, because once the unauthorized voices were taken down, the site immediately died. Theft keeps these services popular. Heart on my sleeve, the fake Drake track that Drake responded to in the most Drake way he possibly could have, and how he apparently changed his mind when Tailor-Made Freestyle came out, and he was vocally puppeteering a ghoulish digital replica of a dead man.
A 2-pack of ass!
Genuine Black Mirror shit. Oh, it's fine if I do it. I got off topic again.